Hello and welcome to another edition of the Blue and Gold Gridiron Show, where this week we are really excited to have what is widely considered the wide zone guru of football, Coach Nick Codutti, on the show. I've seen a number of presentations Coach has done on this and really excited. I learned a ton. I took very copious notes. We had Ed Cook on from Greenway, who considers himself a Coach Codutti disciple, and really enjoyed that episode on wide zone he did, and we're looking forward to learning from the man himself today. He's currently the head coach at Klein High School, had a number of different stops, been highly successful at all of those stops. We'll ask him a little bit about that as we get started. But before we get started, just want to take a moment to remind everybody the Blue and Gold Gridiron Show is brought to you by School Funder. School Funder, the only online fundraising company in America that lets you keep all of the money your team raises. You would never willingly give away 20% of your wins, so why do coaches all across the country willingly give away 20% of their proceeds in fundraising when you do not have to? Call the good people at School Funder. We've used them the last 2 years, so I'm not talking out my rear, and I can promise you everything minus the little 2% processing fee that has to go on credit card stuff. It all goes back to your program. Contact them at schoolfundr.org and let them know the Blue and Gold Gridiron Show sent you, as it'll help the show. Only goal we've talked about for the show is to try to help reach more coaches, give them a free resource out there that they can use to further their football knowledge. And while you're helping the show and contacting those people at School Funder, please make sure right now, subscribe to the show. Helps us reach more coaches, helps us get the word out. And like I said, like we've talked about this a bunch, everybody kind of knows there's a big teacher shortage in the country. There's also not exactly an abundance of young coaches out there either. So we're trying to do our part to help everybody in doing what the great game of football has done for so many and helped so many and helped our lives. So, and that leads me right into this first part of the show. And this is always, I love learning from guys. I love getting the opportunity to hear from guys. But I got to be honest, my favorite part of the show is hearing everybody's football story. So, Coach, if you don't mind, tell us your football story.
Oh, man, appreciate it. Well, where do I start? Played high school ball just like the rest of us. Played high school ball. Ended up in Southwest Missouri at a school called Willard High School right outside of Springfield. Left there. Ended up had some issues. Went from Kansas to Baker University, where I was there for 3 years. Ended up being I started as a running back. Ended up being a O lineman quickly. Ended up playing O-line, was an All-American there, left there, went to William Jewell College in Kansas City. At the time, they were still NAI. Probably per capita the most talented football coaching IQ as a football team I've ever been around. One of my college teammates, Dan Lanning, was my college teammate. Robbie Dishers, the assistant head coach at Illinois, was a college teammate. John Igorugwu, who's the middle linebacker coach for the Giants, was a college teammate. Trent Figg, who was the assistant head coach at Hawaii, was a college teammate. I can go down the list. And I think on that team there's also probably 4 state champion high school football coaches. So I'm the slappy. I'm the guy. I'm the other guy. Left there. I went and played. Went to the combine. Got told that 2 inches were going to cost me $2 million. And so I was 2 inches too short. I ended up playing arena ball 3 years. Was in Canada, NFL Europe, NFL. Kind of did the whole camp tour. Spent time in Houston, the Texans, 2009. That's where the wide zone came from. You know, that was the Gibbs, Shanahan, Kubiak. That was that whole tree. It's really an interesting deal. Anyways, left there, coached college for a little bit. My wife basically at the time told me, said, we're not doing this anymore. So I took a head job in Southwest Missouri, where I was there for 3 years at Marshfield High School. Actually, I think at one point in time I led the nation in passing one year. Coming from the guy who loves to run the ball, we didn't even call a run game play for three games. I think it was 3 games straight, something like that. It was wild. Anyways, didn't want to go back to college. decide, you know what, what's the next best thing? Let's go to Texas. Not being from Texas, coming to Texas is a lot harder than people think it is. I'll say that.
I've heard that.
It is. I had been offered an FBS offensive coordinator job before I ever got a head job in the state of Texas. It's it's pretty wild. So I started at Beaumont Westbrook. A guy named Kevin Flanagan took a chance on me. I ended up came in the spring. I was the inside receivers coach. When I got by the time the fall hit, I was the assistant DC, the recruiting coordinator, the strength conditioning coordinator, and then the next year took over the offense. And the head coach was a wide zone fan at the time. He actually spent some time with Gibbs as well. So, we really sat down and made a plan for what we wanted to do, and it took off. Took off from there. Was there for 2 years. That last year went 3 rounds deep. That same team that I took, that I had as sophomores, went to the state title game 2 years later, and we kind of knew they were going to be pretty good. There wasn't any D1 talent on that team, believe it or not, 6A football in Texas, and they found a way. To win games. That was a solid group of kids. Left there, went to Tomball High School. I was at Tomball High School for 4 years. We turned that program around. We've kind of got an MO for doing it. That's kind of like my thing. I enjoy trying to turn programs around. Beaumont, they hadn't really made the playoffs very much. We made it the first year, and the second year went 3 rounds, and then went to the state title. Tomball had gone 2-8 for 3 years straight, and came in, went 7-3 the first year. When we left, they were 5 rounds deep in the playoffs, and so that's still a predominant program. In fact, we have to play them at my new school, so that's always fun. Left there, went to a school called Fulshear. Fulshear had been open for 4 years at the time. It was a newer school, fastest growing area in the country, actually. Was there when I took over the program. There were 1,400 kids in the high school. It was a small 5A school in the state of Texas. They had won 7 games in 4 years. And we came in first year, went 6-5, went to the playoffs, first time in school history. Never looked back, man. After that, we went 12-2, 12-1, and 12-1. So you had a great run, and really, truly, lesser talented kids, man. We really, I think my last year there, our O-line averaged like 250, maybe 248 in the biggest classification in the state of Texas. So we walked our way up. By the time I left Fulshear, it had been a little less than 4 years, I think. It was 4 seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. We went from 1,400 kids to 3,700 kids. It's ridiculous. And so, anyways, Klein High School opened up. It was an opportunity to come back to the north side of Houston. And really, this is a school that I thought, when we used to play them at Tomball, and just kind of knowing around the Houston areas, I've been here for the past, I've probably been in Houston for about 8 years, 7 years. What I've learned was it was one of those places that I felt like if you could keep the athletes here and really just put a brand on it and really get excitement back into the program. The school was, created in 1938. They've got, I think, 22 dudes that play in the NFL here. They've got kids. They've always had kids. And I just always thought this place was kind of special. And so, I took a chance. The phone call happened, and there was a good conversation. And I came up, and, what was awesome was they allowed me to do the things I wanted to do. I brought 11 coaches with me from Fulshear. They moved their whole family. It's like an hour and 15-minute drive. So they all moved up here. And here we are taking a chance. Made the playoffs this year, first time in almost a decade. Most talent I've ever had up front. But, it's a culture thing, right? And we got to build the culture and get kids to understand and buy into what we're doing. And it was fun. I actually had a center who committed to Texas, played the All-American game. And then I had a running back who, going into his senior year, we got him into some camps, and he ended up he's going to SMU. And he was a ball player. Yeah, I think he ran for 2,500 yards, something like that this year. He was fun. He was fun. Season didn't go as well as I thought it would. We came out 4-0. We were averaging like 70 points a game. By week 5, we had 12 starters out for the year, just through random injuries. One ineligible kid because of grades, and so the injury bug took over. We still found a way to make the playoffs, but at the end of the day, Texas high school football, man, it's real. I tell people when they ask about Texas, it's, hey, what's the difference? I said the biggest difference is, one, the time commitment. that they allow and the financial backing. But the number two is everybody's got a dude. Body's got a dude. So, for us, we had two four-star athletes. We weren't we were as talented or less talented than most teams we played. So it's pretty interesting story, man. It's a good place to be. Texas high school football is its own beast.
Well, Coach, one of the things when I've looked through stuff that you've done a really good job of branding, as you've talked about, kind of branding your programs and really getting kids to buy into that. I personally am not a fan of the C word because all I think is culture is just what you do in and day out basis.
100%.
I think the words that there's nothing wrong with culture, but it's just getting beaten to death so much that I try to avoid using it. Just what we do in and day out basis. But and you have to pardon my ignorance, Coach. I came from a guy that, we ran outside zone, always been more of a gap scheme guy going into year 27 coaching high school football, but did not know the difference between wide zone and outside zone. And I've studied some of your stuff and starting to learn it. So for us dummies like me, walk me through a little bit of what exactly is wide zone.
If I had to break it down for you, when people talk about outside zone, you're trying to capture an edge, right? We're trying to sprint and run and capture an edge, and the running back's trying to, he's trying to find the alleyway through. Really, I think the biggest difference is two things. It's all about aiming points, right? I think number one, the true outside zone stretch play. I've always been taught, we're teaching running back to aim 4 yards outside the tight end. Right, we're aiming 4 yards outside the tight end, shoulders almost parallel with the sideline. We're trying to get horizontal and trying to get there now. Wide zone, we're going to aim at the outside for the tight end. Our objective in wide zone is we are trying to attack C gap, and if you give it to us, we're going to take it. If not, we're going to get vertical. So the theory is we're going to create horizontal displacement, right? We're going to move you side to side, and we're going to cut you in half somewhere. That's wide zone. The objective for wide zone is it is a vertical presence play. We're just going to create horizontal movement to allow easier blocks for our O-line and allow the defense to have to be more gap sound and honestly, it creates a lot more space. So, for example, it's not like ISO, right? Where ISO, you've got to kick out, whatever, empty gap. Fullbacks and full, linebackers can just attack downhill right now. It's a three-step thing. In this, they have to chase, they have to run, they have the wrong arm, they have to do all of this while maintaining gap leverage while they're still running to the sideline. So, again, if I had to break it down for you, I'm just trying to spread you out and cut you in half.
Coach, one of the things that I've enjoyed when I've looked at some of the stuff is having a system. You talk about having answers within your system. And I think that's a big thing rather than, and I was definitely guilty of this early in my career, probably just having a collection of plays that we were running and kind of rolling the dice. And I think we've kind of turned that into a little bit of a system, but you clearly have a very well-defined system. Talk to us a little bit about your system and having answers within your system.
So it's kind of been put together. It's been kind of put together through my time. There's a variation of wide zone, and there's a variation of we do a lot of boot game, true drop back, true play action, and then we have a lot of run and shoot concepts, like true old school run and shoot concepts that we have. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't run a drop back in probably 6 years. Might be longer now, actually closer to probably 8. We don't even teach pass protection. How about that? We don't teach kick sliding, none of it. So the philosophy is when you talk about within a system is my whole thought process is I want the first 3 steps to look exactly the same. No matter what the play is, I want to look exactly the same. I want them to have the same visual image that they see for 3 steps is what I want the defense to see. So for us, the idea is our whole offense is based off of wide zone. We've got to be good at what we do, right? My philosophy is we're just better at doing what we do than you are at stopping it. So off of that, that's where your answers come in, right? So for us, our play action is exactly our wide zone, right? It's the same combos, the same steps, the same runs. Our boot game, our O-line is just running wide zone. Our sprint out game, our offensive line is just running wide zone. When we run screens, it looks like wide zone for 3 steps. So it all looks the same. And so when you talk about within the system, right? So for us, I've kind of created this system, and a lot of people ask, they want help with it and things like that, and I'm all about it. So I created that wide shoot system, and it's kind of helped us out. But the big thing is there's a lot of if thens. I took a lot. My first OC job in high school as a high school coach, my first year was at a flex bone team. And so the one thing I learned about the flex was there's a whole lot of if thens. If the defense does this, then we do this. And so that's kind of how I created it, right? So like I go through my offense and I think, okay, if I were to sit here and say, hey, I've got, this, and this, right? So for example, in our offense, if the defense pinches, right, or compresses the front, all right, we run toss. If linebackers fast flow or overrun, all right, we hit play action, right? If the backside DN crashes too hard, we hit boot. If they've got too off an edge, then we hit slice, right? If linebackers are doing heavy like they're inserting too quickly, we'll have an RPO off of it. Everything that we have has got an answer. So, like for example, I've had somebody ask, what do you do if they've got these like chaotic formations or these exotic pressures? Well, there's two things we do. We start in empty because most high school coordinators have one or two empty checks, and then we'll bring a guy in, or we'll just go to an old school like double tight T formation and say, well, you can't really get exotic here. You as a coach have to be very sound when you do this, and I'm going to get you out of what we want to do. And so those are there's answers within what we do, but we don't change who we are, right? So like we run the same plays. By the time we're in week 7, man, no offense, the practice gets kind of boring because it's the same stuff. It's just about how are we going to combo, how are we going to step it, what do we think they're going to run, and what's the answer? What's the next step off the progression of this play action and this boot? So,
Well, Coach, I've been super excited to hear from you. I'm going to turn it over to you. Anything you were willing to kind of share with us and show us on this, I'm happy to learn, and I will shut up and ask questions every now and again. So thank you.
Okay, man. Yeah, let's do this. Let me pull something up, and we'll go from here. Where are we at here? Let me pull her up here.
It says should be share screen,
Yep.
And then click that, and you're good to go.
Okay, so let's go share screen.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. It's
You're fine.
easy enough. If you have I've never done the presentation one, so
I haven't either. No, I haven't either.
yeah.
All right,
So
let's
I
try
don't know.
this.
I just
Let's try
share
this.
screen and go to huddle. I don't know.
Let's try this. Boom. You see it?
Coming up, yes, sir.
All right. So let's do this. Okay, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. What I will do is I'll spend some time on certain things, right? So, number one thing, why do we do it, right? It fits all types of personnel. At the end of the day, guys, there's no need to change my scheme. So, I've done this from everything from 2x2 sniffer quarterback run game because I didn't have any running backs on the roster because of COVID. I've done it, my last couple years of Fulsher, we didn't even have a quarterback. We were literally just putting a receiver at quarterback, somebody who was smart, somebody intelligent. And so we got into a lot of like double tight, 3-back, 32 personnel. This year we ran a bunch of like true old school eye right, a lot of true like split back right. It doesn't matter what you have. The system works for anything, right? You got receivers, whatever you want to do, so you're good. The other thing is it keeps us on schedule. The whole point of this system is to stay on schedule. And there's some really good examples in the NFL that you can look at. Number one, looking at like the LA Rams, right? If you ever watch them, their whole objective is to stay ahead of schedule. They're going to try to go 2nd down and 7. It's a whole lot easier as a play caller to call 2nd and 7 than it's 2nd and 13. And so this play and the idea of the system is we're going to keep ourselves on schedule, right? We're going to take our shots when they're there, but for the most part, it's very veer philosophy based. We want to get to 2nd and 7 so that we can get down to 3rd and 3. More than likely, I'm probably going to go for it on 4th down, so that makes it even easier for me. It's repetition. So I don't gap scheme anything, truly. So we don't have any kind of gap scheme. All we run is zone and toss and duo. And duo is basically just our wide zone. And so, for us, it's repetition. Our kids get really, 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 really good at pods and running doubles and triples, right? The idea is we don't ever have to, like the whole goal is I don't ever want a one-on-one block. I want everyone to have help. I want offensive line, like as a tackle, I want somebody with you helping you all the time. I want somebody always helping you out. So again, I don't have to have the best O-line to run this play, and that's why I like it. I'm never going to ask a center to block back on a nose shade, and the nose shade's going to Texas, right? I'm just not going to do it. I think you're setting our kids up for failure in that situation. Let's see here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you how it goes down. So number one thing is this. Okay, so watching it from the left to the right here. So if you take a look, we're just going to run wide zone right. This is a weak side wide zone. So basically, make a long story short, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get 2 for 2. All right, so the offensive line is going to run out 2 for 2. This guy's in man. He's going to go in motion with him. And so now you've got your opportunity to do what you need to do. Okay, so now how do I want to do this? All right, number one, we're going to press out. We're going to press out. Okay, these two are going to, basically, these guys are all going to combo together. Okay, we're going to combo together. We're going to combo together, and he's going to block the backside edge. Running back is going to aim at the outside foot of a ghost tight end. That's where he's going to go. So if I put my mouse there, that's where the running back's going to hit, no matter where it goes. Outside foot of the tight end. So as you see the motion going in, okay, you see motion happening. Okay, here we go. Running back is going to read the first down lineman to the next down lineman. So he's going to read the 4-eye to the nose. Don't worry about this kid because everybody knows if that guy's out wide, he's what? He's a forced defender. He's got to keep outside leverage. So there's no point in us having to read him. We know what he's going to do. Okay? All right, so running back's going to rocker step, and he's going to take his aiming point to his point target, which is right about somewhere on that C. So he should make his cut somewhere over here. Okay? So he's going to press. Okay, he sees the first guy. The first guy is past his landing, his mark, so his eyes are going to go to the nose guard. Nose guard got hooked, but I'm going to stay on my path for 5 steps, and then we're going to pierce the defense on my 5th step. There's your 5th step. All right. Notice where he puts his foot down, right there on the C, outside foot of the tight end, 5 steps in the ground. So watch it again. So as he opens up, okay, he's running 1, 2, all right, 3, 4, 5 on his 5th step, right exactly where we put our arrow. He's going to cut and get vertical right there. It's an easy play, easy determination, okay? And you can kind of see it. It's about horizontal movement with a cut in half. All right, so watching it from the NFL version of it now, you can kind of see what we're talking about. So again, we're going to the right. He's going to aim to the outside foot of the tight end. He's going to read 1 to 2. That easy. Don't overthink it. Running back's going to rocker step, okay? Running back's going to rocker step. You have the double, okay? So they consider this a double to here. They consider this a double to here. And this guy is just going to maintain B gap. These are double teams in the NFL. Sometimes they don't need a double because, well, let's get real, they're freaking monsters and they can do those things. Okay? So running back is going to read the first guy. Okay? First guy gets washed out. All right? First guy gets washed out. He reads the second guy. Nose guard fights head placement. All right? It's easy. Fights head placement. Running back knows that he's going to get behind the center, but he has to maintain his aiming point for 5 steps. Puts his foot in the ground in 5. And he gets vertical right there, okay? So again, if I go back and look at my arrow, same idea. Where is he going to put his foot in the ground? Right about 2 yards inside the hash. Let's see if he does it, all right? Press, 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 puts his foot in the ground, 2 yards inside the hash. Okay, last time he was in front of the center. This time he's behind the center, and you can kind of see how it works, okay? Let's watch it from ends. Like this is us, not this year, but the year before, okay? So again, it's all double teams here. Oh, Tell me you don't love everybody going down in the 3-point stance together. How sweet is that?
It looks great.
Yeah, that's like the old Tom Landry. Man, I love this stuff, man. And really, my kids actually enjoyed it more than I think I did. They like, Coach, can we just all go down together? You absolutely can, son. You absolutely can. All right, so rule philosophy, okay? We're going to aim the outside for the tight end. So he's here. He's going to read 1 to 2. So he's going to read 1 to 2. Aiming point is outside for the tight end. That's his path. He's going to stay on that path for 5 steps. He's not going to leave that path unless he absolutely has to. That's simple. Everything's a double team. All right? So you got a double. You got a double. Okay, we're going to try to hook this and hook this. Don't overthink it. All right, here we go. All right, press. Okay, that 7 gets hooked by the tackle because you get a nice shoulder block by the tight end here. Okay, running back knows I don't need to do anything. I can literally stay on my path. This is like C-gap heaven right here. See? He's going to press it. There's no reason, absolutely no reason for him to put his foot in the ground. So he just keeps on running until he has to put his foot in the ground right there. That's it. So again, it's pretty simple stuff. I'm double teaming. It's just double team, double team, double team, double team, double team, double team. And then we're just going to cut off everything on the backside. Again, the reason to play successful is because it allows my kids to have an opportunity. Right? There's no solos. I'm not asking you to beat up anybody. We're just asking you to do it. All right. But the reason I love it is just the surge, right? I like the surge. I like movement. I like double teams. It's physicality, okay? So here's one out of split back. So this is just a true twin split back to the right. Okay, so again, we're going to go to the right. We're going to read 1 to 2. This time, instead of having an offensive line double team, all right, the tackle is going to double team with the fullback. So it's basically these two for these two, all right? These two for these two. All right, this guy's going to help. This guy's going to cut him off. Running back's going to read 1 to 2. That's it. Okay? The reason we do this, okay, we press out with it. So everyone's talked about, the 49ers right now everyone on Twitter, I think, is making this big thing about how they're putting the H-back and the tight end in motion, and they're like comboing with the guard and comboing with the tackle. It's something we've been doing for 5-6 years. Really, we just do it from a stationary time, and you can see it. All right, he's just working with the tackle. Tackle steps out. Okay, tackle steps out. That guy goes inside. He gives a hand, gets to his guy. Fullback sees this. There's your double team. All right, running back sees the pinch by the defensive end. Head placement. There's your alley. Okay, put your foot in the ground as soon as you get the opportunity. There it is. And so the idea is you create double teams as a coach. It's your job to create double teams, not mine, right? It's not the kids shouldn't have to sit here and think. For me, it's as a coach, how can I create doubles? Whether that's with a tight end, an H-back, a running back, a fullback, it doesn't matter. My job is to create double teams at the point of attack and for our guys to have a chance to be successful. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, okay? All right, so right here, this is quarterback wide zone. This is just tackle over quads to the right. So if I was to show you, there it is. Okay, it's nothing fancy. For us, it looks fancy. It's just wide zone left. Okay, he's going to read 1. Okay, he's going to read 1 to 2. So here we go. We're going to go 1 to 2. All right, he's going to press for 5. That guy is outside his aiming point. All right, now he's going to read the next down lineman, which is this guy right here, but he's going to continue his 5, and his 5th step, he hits the ground, he gets vertical. So again, if I were to put this one cuts just a little earlier, not a lot, but cuts a little bit before the when I like it to, but it's what was given to him. So again, we're pressing for 5, just getting vertical. As you can see, the whole point is we're just trying to press everything as far as we can, and we're just going to try to cut you in half as many times as we can. And that's what the whole play is. That's the difference between this and outside zone and inside zone and everything else. That's the whole point, is we're just trying to create running lanes for our guys. Okay? And so just don't overthink it. And I'm not going to go into too much. So here's what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go over to just this here. And I haven't even looked at this, right? So I don't even know if I have it in yet. So let's just go. Hell, I don't know. Let's just go pick something here. Okay. And let's go. Play type. Analyze. Let's go all runs. Let's go. Oh, wait, did I just go all past? I was like, what happened? Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. All right, so all runs. I don't even know if I have the end zone on this one or not. There we go. Okay. So this time we're doing it from what looks like a wing T. So a lot of people are like, oh, you run the wing T. No, I don't. I just change my formations to do what I need to do. A lot of teams so for example, if I felt like our offensive line can't handle blocks for more than 2 seconds, even double teams, we just move our running backs up into a flex position, right? Put them in 3-point stances. It hits faster. Same rule. Nothing changes, right?
Is that the reason you have such tight splits here, Coach, or is that a formational thing? Or
yeah, so we started going really tight. When we start to bring our running backs in closer, we bring our splits in closer because the running lanes don't become as natural. Does that make sense?
Yes,
so
sir.
we start to really bring them in. As the running back gets closer to the line of scrimmage, our splits get closer so that we can create faster double teams. There's not as much room to run. So again, same thing. He's going to aim right here. Don't overthink it. All right, we know that's force, so we're going to go 1 to 2. There we go. Let's watch. All right, we got the edge. There it is. It's that simple. We got the edge. Boom. There it is. That's it. This was the first wide zone we ran all year. Okay? And then you got a dude that can run. It helps. All right? So again, if I just keep going in, big right gun, Cobra. All right, here we go. Now we're going to watch it from gun, offset. All right, tight end wing right here. Same thing. He's going to aim the outside foot. All right, he's going to read 1 to 2. Let's watch and see what happens. I haven't even watched this stuff yet, guys. All right, so it looks like the guard and tackle are working a combo. We've got the guard and center working a combo, or tackle tight end combo, center guard combo. backside guard tackle combo. We're going to kick this guy. So one thing you got to understand is this kid right here was a freshman, and it was his first game ever. So don't judge. But it's our first year doing this stuff. So, a lot of these kids are learning, right? A lot of these kids are learning. Here's the running back. There it is. It ends up cutting all the way behind because why? Everything gets washed. He puts his foot in the ground in 5, and he gets vertical. So, again, it looks like inside zone. It's not. It's nothing different for our kids. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to go through this with you. All right, this is quarterback wide zone from under center. All right, here we go. Now you've got tight end, H-back, running back. Okay, it's just gonna. All he's gonna do is think of the, think of the old school West Point, get back, shuffle step, yada yada yada. That's all we're trying to do right here. Okay, that's all we're trying to do right here. And so let's take a look at it. And shuffle, shuffle. He gets beat, right? We overstep it. Running back just gets vertical, and he goes. Nothing new. Okay, let's go. Okay, so here we go. This is our version of wide zone. If we feel like people are overshooting us, all we're going to do is we're going to call mid, which is basically our mid zone, but it's wide zone up front for our O-line. The only thing is we're just going to try to wash everything as fast as we can, okay? That's all we're trying to do is just wash everything as fast as we can. And so you can see what happens. Backside linebacker, our tackle doesn't climb fast enough, okay? But you see that big wash right there? That's what we're trying to achieve, is that big, big wash. That was the whole thing, all right? And so there you go. Again, I'm just trying to go through these. So this is just one game. Let's go.
Coach, you've talked about those 3 steps. Could you give me like the Reader's Digest version of your first 3 steps? What you're teaching your kids there?
For the O-line?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 100%, man. Let me get you one right here. Let's go. Find the game I want to use. I can use this game probably. All right, let's take a look at this one. All right, we're going to go end zone here. Okay. Ah, crud. All right. So basically what you're doing is you're going to aim. So again, I didn't get into too much of the O-line play, but here it is. We're just aiming for the front play side nipple of the front side defender, right? So we're just going to aim for the first 3 steps. We're going to run at the play side nipple as fast as we can. All right. After 3, we decide, right? So again, if I'm working a double team right here, so it looks like I think we're kicking this, and we're going to double team that guy. We're going to come to this guy, and we're going to double team this guy. So again, watch. Here it is. 1, 2, 3. All right. I think here's what we did. We just ran a double team with the tight end. All right. We ran a double team with the tackle and the fullback here up to, I think, whatever shows. And you can see 1, 2, 3. We're going to press, and we're going to run our feet. Okay. Let me get you another one here. Let me see if I can't find an end zone. All right. Here you go. Okay. So this one's pretty easy. All right. This is like a bastardized version of a split back. Same thing. Okay, we're just going to go. I know that what's going to happen in this situation is we're going to double team the point of attack. He's going to kick. We're going to work a double here to here. He's going to try to hook and reach. He's going to run and rock her back. He's going to run. He's going to run. Okay, for the 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. Nobody climbs till after 3. Running back makes the decision from there. Okay, so again, running back. Is there any reason for the running back to have to put his foot in the ground right here? Absolutely not. All right, just stay on your path and keep on running. This is, people talk about, oh, he runs stretch. No, they just gave us the edge and we went. All right, our running back was a dude this year. Don't get it twisted, man. Our running back was a dude, but he wasn't patient, right? He's one of those guys you're like, what are you doing? Okay. All right, so this one's probably pretty easy. We're going to double team out. Okay, fullback is going to insert himself through for the extra player here. So we're basically out. You 2 are working here. You're working to collect this. You're going to insert for whatever you see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, quarterback hits it a little too early. You saw this with the red team's film, right? That's it. We're just going to press and run. So our first 3 steps is we're trying to attack the play side nipple. We're trying to capture it if we possibly can. In 3 steps, if you can't capture it, we're just going to take the backside hand and we're going to run them. The whole objective in this play is I want to take the defense where I want them to go. Like if they want to go to the sideline, let's take them to the sideline. If they want to pinch in, let them pinch. We got somebody coming to collect with us. Does that make sense? And so you're kind you're kind of seeing as we progress through the year, like who we are. All right. So, okay, here's one for you. Here's a Cobra mid. This is a wide zone to the right. Okay, they've been overrunning us. This is the first play of the second half. A lot of people have been like this was their kind of their answer was they would kind of go into a double 3 look with double A gap mug pressure look to try to stop the soul. They would try to stop double teams. So we just ran it. Boom, just run it and put your foot in the ground and there you go. Right? And so our objective in these situations is how are we going to have answers within what we do? Okay, so again, I can go through all this, and we see crazy defenses, man. Like, I can't even explain to you the defenses we see. All right, so here's one for you. Enjoy this one. There you go. Let's take a look at this defense. There you go. Get you some of that. Your guess is as good as mine, big dog.
Little bear front action, sort of, kind of.
You would think, but it's not. So, like, you have a nose, a 3, a 7, a 9, a 7, a 9. It's just like a.
Right. It's not, I don't know what
it's a gap sound. So we just go to left. There it is. And a lot of people cut us at the point of attack, which is always entertaining. But here we go. Let's just go left. So again, for us, we just send motions. We try to get guys' eyes bad, right? But we're just running left. He's going to go left, aiming for the number 1 to 2. There it is. Bye. And so it looks very wing T-ish, right? There's a whole lot of movement. Watch, you can see it. There's a whole lot of movement, a whole lot of things going on. But at the end of the day, it's just wide zone, right? And so again, here's one for you. Here's wide zone with a quarterback. We've got double sniffer with a tight end look. We're just running wide zone right. All right, wide zone right with almost like a bastardized version of a bear sitting on top of our tight end. Here we go. Press, 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 press. And put your foot on the ground now. That's it. Does that make sense? So the objective is, man, and I try to tell people, like, the whole point is, we're not trying to do anything other than stretch you and cut you. And if you give us the edge, we're going to take it. So here you go. Wide zone right. There it is. And again, what I think makes this play so special is but these guys right here don't want to have to keep tackling in the hole with one arm, right? And that's what it does, is it forces people to have to block with one arm or tackle with one arm, and it gets really old, and you get a lot of movement. And so, like, this is week 2 of the season. Like, our kids are still trying to figure this out as we go, and so that's kind of the whole philosophy of who we are. And then you go on top of it, you go to the play action game and things like that are off of it. So I'll give you an example. So, all right, this was this year. Here it is. We're going to run play action out of you can see the formation. It's a trips compressed look with a single receiver. We're just trying to we're basically hitting an old Yankee concept on a one high. This is the one high safety. If that tells you how much people respected my passing game this year, this is where we're at. So we're just trying to high-low this guy. We're going to run a crosser with him. We're going to run a post here, and it's all smoke and mirrors. We're going to fake wide zone to the right, I believe. Faking wide zone to the right, I believe. Nope, we're faking a duo. And we're just going to fake the duo and bring a guy around the edge so you can kind of see it from here. So, again, it's all going to look the same. Watch the O-line just sprinting. There's the sprint. There's the fake. There's the fake. Drop back. And so, like I said, I don't have to work drop back. This is what we do. And then you see this, and you want to jump off a bridge. And so, here's one for you here as well. Okay, so we're going to send a guy in motion. We're going to see 2 high look. We're going to run a corner post. We're going to run a post corner. Okay, we're going to have true 8-man protection. We're going to run wide zone to the right. All right, see the flow. Quarterback's going to set it at 7, and just don't overthrow it. For the love of God, just don't overthrow it. And that was our first pass in 2023. That was our first pass of the year. And so, a lot of this is fun to watch, right? So again, here you go, same thing. Everyone's gonna sprint. 1, 2, 3. Another one high beater. Okay, another one high beater. Our philosophy on this one is we're just gonna take a crosser. We're gonna take a corner post, and we're gonna hit the guy over here on the deep out. And so again, read the high safety. There you go. There's your play. And so we have all these answers within what we do, just to kind of have. Basically have an idea of who we are based on variations. So again, like you talked about having variations, right? So for us, We have our different variations. Why do we combo with the tackle? Well, because we avoid solo blocks. All right, we have a back inserting on the Mike linebacker. Why do we do that? Well, pretty simple. We want to have an extra player at the front side to have a guy running through and inserting. Why do we boss it? All right, boss meaning that B has the strong safety. Why? Because we started seeing a lot of 3 high look, right? So we started seeing that 3-3-3 high, and when they always gave him an extra fitter. So we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our guys the extra fitter for the strong safety. So now it's pretty simple, right? This is actually really, really simple. Okay, here's your combos right here. You're going to get a kick out by the tight end. You're going to get a combo to the inside, a combo back. He's going to set. And this guy right here is going to go blow up whatever shows up in the hole. That third guy that kind of rolls down and plays and fits. Well, it's nice to have this kid because this kid put him in the hospital. And so, but again, having an answer for everything that you do, right? So again, why do we split flow? Well, it's pretty simple. Most people against us, they bring 2 off the backside. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
They bring 2 off the backside. And they do that because when they take 2 off the backside, the whole point of taking 2 off the backside is they can stop the wide zone with a heel line runner, and then they can stop the boot with the second guy, right? So again, I can't run wide zone effectively, and I can't boot off it because they have somebody for the quarterback. Well, what's my answer? Okay, what's my answer? Well, it's pretty simple. Your answer is you go in and you say, okay, we're going to slice it or bring this guy across, split flow motion, and the objective when you do this is if I can do that and create that split flow motion, I can create an extra gap because they're bringing 2 off the edge. So the idea is you're taking a chance of having an extra gap, and we're taking a chance saying, okay, you're bringing an extra gap. That's fine. We're going to cut you 2 in half. So here you go. So they're going to bring 2 off the edge. You're going to have a heel line, a boot player, which means that extra guy has to fit off the edge. We're going to bring him across and cut this off. And if we can cut that off, we've got an extra fitter now. So again, you've lost that extra fit. So there it is. Boom. All right. I love that little head snap right there. Wow. Okay. But running back stays on path. There's no reason. But again, this guy and this guy and this guy are outside. So you've got 3 guys in one gap. That's the beautiful thing about when you get a slice call, right? So again, running back never needed to leave the point of attack. So, there's answers for everything. So here's one for you right here. We're going to wide zone to the left, your right on the screen. And where everybody's going to run, they're going to bring 2 off an edge. You're going to have a guy coming, safety roll down for the flat player, right? And here we go. Boom. Everybody runs. They try to press themselves on the heel line, and there's your fit. So again, the idea is there's always an answer with what you do, right? Why do we run lock? Because linebackers are fitting backside, whatever it might be, or basically we have numbers on the front side and we want to cut it in half early, so we run lock. Okay, lock basically meaning what we're going to do is we're going to read the first inside backer and we're going to throw a slant behind him. Like doing this way before anybody else thought about doing it. So the quarterback sees it. We see him wanting to blitz. Okay, man, blitz us. We're just going to block out. We're going to run wide zone to these 3, and quarterback's just going to read the blitzer. Boom. So the answer is, like you said, the whole thought process is having answers within what you do, right? So again, here we go. Why do we run bend? Okay, basically we're trying to build a seawall gap right now. All right, bend basically means our back is going to take the inman line of scrimmage, and we can -1 our combos and get heavy vertical presence. Does that make sense? Like super heavy vertical presence. So again, a lot of people don't know how to line up to us. When you line up in this, a lot of people have no idea what to do. They have 0 idea what to do. And there you go. So, and for us, I tell people you don't have to overthink it, right? For us, it's why do we do it? Why do we run switch? We run wide zone with the fullback. Why do we do it? Linebackers are over pursuing us. So now we're just going to run it. Here, let's get it right. So here we go. Fullback's going to get the ball. Here we go. Watch the big long-haired kid, the Viking, if you will. That was Thor, and Thor was badass. So excuse my language. So again, watch how they're overrunning us. He's still reading it 1 to 2. Press 1, 2. Put your foot on the ground and get vertical. And so again, people can't key on it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So here you go, Cleveland switch again. He's going to run to the left. Same read, 1-2. Linebackers can't get there in time, especially if they're fast flow guys. The fullback's always a good answer because it happens so fast. Does that make sense?
Digging Thor.
Oh, dude, he was a bad man. So in his last 3 games of his senior year were playoff games, and I think in those last 3 games he ran for almost 700 yards as a fullback. Yeah. I'm telling you, like if you ever want to get entertained, right? Here, we're gonna do it right now. I just want to entertain you. And his brother's highlights are even better.
Coach,
Right.
one of the things I loved most about that is I think a lot of people lock wide zone into certain systems, and you just showed us the gamut there. I love the old school formations because I agree with you. I don't see many guys because everybody faces 3x1, 2x2, and all the different variations of that week in, week out. I don't know what those defensive coordinators are pulling their hair out, going T formation. Are they even allowed to do that anymore? And that was just great.
Well,
stuff.
and I think they made him private. Well, the problem is you go in and you look at it and you're like, how in the world did this kid do this, right? Here's his first 6 games, I guess. This is weird. I don't understand why this doesn't work. So some of them are there, some of them are not. I don't understand huddle sometimes, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if y'all get it. I don't get it. Here's his blocking highlight. Oh, playoffs. Here is just him in the playoff games. There he is. And this is the Atascocita that won this national title in the 4x1. Yeah, boy. Get you some of that. Big Daddy can run.
He's got some wheels, too.
Yeah, so his brother is the youngest rugby player in the nation. Now he's playing quarterback.
He looks like a rugby guy.
Yeah, his brother was bigger than him. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Here we go. Quarterback again. Zone. It's just wide zone. It's just wide zone. We don't run like wide zone and duo. That's it, man. Wide zone duo. Here we go. He fumbles a snap, scores. This is a 4th and 1 to win the game. Second round playoff game. And that's a team with NFL dudes. All right, here we go. And to the flat. Wink. This is just 3 games. I mean, the kid squatted 600 pounds. I mean, he's just fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely he is.
And then if you go, there you go. These are always fun. This is just him doing what he does.
He's taking that stands about.
Hey,
gracious.
He knocks our trainer out. Watch this. Wait. Here he comes. And waka. There she is.
Ooh.
Knocks her out. Knocks her clean out. That's all this kid does. It's literally highlights of him decleating kids and just driving them to the ground. It's just all it is. Him just destroying people.
Oh my goodness.
And he doesn't stop. And his brother was just as violent as he was. I mean, when you look for a fullback, this is what you look for.
This is beautiful football, Coach. Like, you're right. I could watch this kid block all day. I enjoyed the runs, but this is better.
His brother was even more entertaining. Like, his brother physically tried to assault people. I mean,
a hustle too out here on a fast screen to drive the guy 5 yards deep into the sideline.
He don't care, brother. This dude took pleasure. Hang on, let me show you this one. Here's his brother's highlights. So this kid was way better than his brother, but his brother was way more just violent. All right, let's see if I can't find his. I'm telling you, man. This is senior season. Is this it? Seth Smith. I don't know. Let me look here. Non-district. There we go. Let's take a look at this. Let's see if I can't find it. District, junior, senior highlights. There we go. This is just senior year. All right, here you go, baby. Rumbling and stumbling, buddy. Come here. This is his brother. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Oh, it gets fun. Watch him. This is hard to see. Watch what he does, this kid. And wow! You saw this one already. Oh, bro, he's so much fun to watch. Oh, this poor linebacker.
He wants the finish too.
Oh, and then he has to put this on here. I'm like, bro, you're so slow. Nobody cares. Oh, okay. So you know Reuben Owens, the running back at A&M.
Okay.
Yeah, this is him. He's about to declare. Ready for it? Ready for it? Ready for it? Bam! It's literally 5 minutes of him just hurting people. Watch this. Last one. I promise you. I just love watching. I just love watching good football, bro.
I could watch him play. Yeah, both of them.
Oh, they're so much fun, man. These guys are so much fun. So yeah, so the answer for us is, man, know what you're doing, be good at what you're doing, and have answers off of it. So one of my first interviews I ever had in college, this is what I tell people, young guys as coaches, and you had mentioned earlier, young men as coaches ask for advice. And there's 3 things I give them. Number 1, FaceTime. Showing your face, being there, doing the extra, not expecting to get paid. Basketball games, baseball games, when coach needs something, just show up, FaceTime, and find work. Find work, just FaceTime. Because at the end of the day, that's who you're going to remember who's there. You remember who shows up, right? You don't remember what people say. You remember who shows up. And so I tell them, show up. If you want to be great, show up, right? Number 2, stop trying to run 100 plays. Get good at something, right? And I tell them, it doesn't have to be this. If you're a power guy, be a power guy. But have every answer off of power. Have your play action needs to look like power. Your sprint out needs to look like power. And you can do those things. I think I had an interview, one of my first interviews I ever had with a college coach. He said, okay, it's 3rd and 1. You got to run a play to win the game. What are you running? I was like, well, what's formation? He's like, doesn't matter. Well, what defense then? Doesn't matter. I was like, okay. He's like, the fact that you have to think about it tells me you do not have an identity. And if you don't know what you're going to run, your coaches don't know what you're going to run, your kids don't know what you're going to run. So now you're just grabbing at stuff. You think this is going to work. He's like, once you have an answer for what you're saying, then you have an answer for what happens off of it. And I was like, oh. He's like, so if you're a power guy, you have power pass. You have boot, right? These are the things that you have off of your play. And so that's your answer. And so that was my thing. And the last thing I tell them as a head coach is, once you get past FaceTime and you get past the idea of not knowing what you're like, having an identity of who you are, the last thing I tell them is this. Whenever you have the opportunity, understand that this is about relationships and networking. Nobody's ever gotten anywhere by themselves, right? So use guys that are in the role that you want and surround yourself with those men, because those men can help you get what you need and what you want, right? You are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. If you keep hanging around with a bunch of assistant slaps, then you're an assistant slap. But if you surround yourself with head football coaches that have had success, men of character and high integrity that have done the job, and you go out of your way, those men will help you become what you want to become. And those are the 3 things I tell people. That's the answers for me. That's how I figured myself out. And trust me, I'm a slappy dude. I'm still trying to figure this out every day. I learn something new. I'm like, oh, wish I would have known that 10 years ago. And so there's your answers.
Well, Coach, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I have, like I said, I've watched a lot of stuff that you've put out there. And I know there's going to be great success for Klein High School, as there has been at every other stop you've been at. And I'm looking forward to following it. We really appreciate you joining us today. And we will see everybody next time for another edition of the Blue and Gold Gridiron Show.